There's been so much conversation about her recently.
Fans are really upset right now because they feel like Northwest is dressed too grown for her age.
I'm not allowing my daughter to be used by TikTok.
Any mom of a teenager or a preteen, unless you've been here, please, we just need a little bit of grace.
I have a say-so, and I'm happy that you guys got to see just a small piece of what I dealt with.
Courtney always says North is my lesson on this planet.
What do you think about the work your mom does?
What does she do?
The fact that she was alone with our kids.
My type of parenting is we do everything by a schedule.
Kim's nanny and I had a little disagreement. She said that she felt so degraded by you.
She wasn't the easiest to work for.
Bruce asked if she would work instead for him and his soon-to-be wife, Kris Kardashian.
I am a single mom of 4, and it is wild.
Yeah, if you think she works for you, that's totally fine. She would never work for me.
Courtney, you can't even keep a nanny.
Kim, shut the f up.
Welcome back, because today we're diving straight into the evolution of Northwest style, how it was shaped, who's really influencing it, and why so many people online are saying something about it feels different. And let's be clear right up front, this is not about attacking a child. This is about celebrity power, parenting under a global spotlight, and a fame machine that doesn't know how to slow down. Because Northwest was never raised like a normal celebrity kid. From the very beginning, she was placed at the center of fashion's most exclusive rooms. Before most toddlers could even walk, North was already front row at major runway shows, famously perched on Kim Kardashian's lap between Beyoncé and Vogue's ultimate gatekeeper Anna Wintour, at New York Fashion Week when she was barely 1 year old. While other kids were playing dress-up at home, North wasn't pretending she was already inside the industry. And then came the moment that officially changed everything. During Kanye West's Yeezy Season 8 show, North made her first public creative debut, completely stealing the spotlight. As models walked the runway, North suddenly grabbed the mic and delivered a rap, shocking the audience while Kanye stood nearby, glowing with pride. From that moment on, it was clear this wasn't just a celebrity child watching from the sidelines. This was a kid being positioned as part of the brand, part of the spectacle, and part of a world that rarely asks whether childhood should come before clout. And when she was asked who inspires her style the most, North didn't hesitate, not for a second. Without blinking, without looking around for approval, she gave an answer that immediately sent the internet into a frenzy, because it wasn't a cartoon character, it wasn't a designer mood board, and it definitely wasn't a kid her own age. It was a name that made people pause, rewind the clip, and ask the same uncomfortable question all over again: how much of this is organic, and how much of it is learned under a spotlight that never turns off?
I like very streetwear and 90s, Tyler the Creator, my dad, me.
By 2022, something had clearly shifted. North's style didn't just evolve, it pivoted. When she appeared at Paris Fashion Week for the Jean-Paul Gaultier Haute Couture show, people barely recognized the little girl they remembered. She stepped out in sharp pinstripes, heavy chain jewelry, and dangling nose rings, serving a look that felt far older than her years. The internet didn't whisper about it, it exploded. But that moment was only the beginning. The real firestorm hit in August 2025 when paparazzi photos of North spread like wildfire across social media. She was wearing a black corset-style top, and instantly the comment sections turned ruthless. People weren't debating fashion anymore, they were questioning boundaries. Was this edgy expression, or was it a line that never should have been crossed? And once that image went viral, the conversation stopped being about clothes and turned into something much darker. Who's really making these choices, and why is no one pumping the brakes?
Her parents both are in fashion. They both literally have their own fashion brands. So it would not surprise me if she is influenced by fashion. It is up to her parents.
I know Kanye just over there flipping in his damn Yeezy, seeing his daughter with that damn corset and that push-up bra on. Ain't she 12 years old? And Kim, this falls on you, boo. I think we should go to court with Kanye. I support him.
But the controversy didn't stop there. Not even close. In September 2025, Kim Kardashian found herself under fire yet again, this time for allowing North to get a dermal finger piercing. Not a standard piercing, this was the kind with no clear entry or exit point. the kind most people associate with adults deep in body modification culture. Critics immediately sounded the alarm, saying this wasn't just edgy fashion anymore, it was permanent decision territory. And as 2025 rolled into 2026, the visuals only became more intense. North began posting videos wearing grills, face tattoos, and dark, emo-inspired looks, often surrounded by friends styled almost identically. To many viewers, it felt less like experimentation and more like a coordinated aesthetic shift. Then came Christmas, when North debuted a diamond shark grill complete with pointed diamond teeth, custom designed by celebrity jeweler Johnny Dang. The internet froze. At that point, even longtime Kardashian fans started asking how far was too far. Because this didn't look random, it didn't look accidental, and it definitely didn't look like something that happened in isolation. A huge part of the conversation started circling back to where this inspiration was coming from, and the luxury brands North is constantly seen wearing. Names like Balenciaga and Chrome Hearts kept popping up, labels known for their dark, gothic, and hyper-edgy aesthetics. That alone raised eyebrows, but Balenciaga's involvement reignited old outrage tied to the brand's 2022 campaign controversy involving children and inappropriate imagery. Even years later, many people couldn't understand why the family continued to publicly support the brand. And through all of it, Kim Kardashian stood her ground, repeatedly defending North's right to self-expression, insisting this is creativity, not control. But online, the question keeps getting louder. At what point does self-expression turn into something shaped by the adults, the brands, and the billion-dollar spotlight surrounding her?
I love that she has her own style and she's super creative, and I love to see her express herself too. Go in the room and they do all their makeup. She turns all of her friends into these characters, and then they like take fun pictures and do silly like TikToks, and then, they wash it all off and then they try something on again. Babe, if you want blue hair, like, it is what it is. All the kids are like wearing the same things, but then my daughter tries to wear it and then I'm like, okay, we're never wearing that again. Any mom of a teenager or a preteen, unless you've been here, like, please, we just need a little bit of grace.
Kanye, on the other hand, hasn't stayed quiet, not even close. Over and over again, he's publicly voiced his concerns, making it clear he's uncomfortable with how fast things are moving and how exposed North has become. In interviews, posts, and late-night rants that instantly go viral, he's hinted that boundaries are being ignored and that his daughter is being pushed into an adult world way too soon. To some, it sounds like a father trying to protect his child. To others, it feels complicated, messy, and ironic, especially coming from the same man who first placed North on a runway under blinding lights. And that contradiction is exactly what keeps this story boiling, because when both parents are billion-dollar brands with very different visions, North isn't just a kid caught in the middle, she's the center of a cultural tug-of-war the internet can't stop watching.
Do you feel you have a voice as you're co-parenting now?
I do have a voice, but I had to fight for it. That hurts you when you have to like scream about what your kids are wearing. I have a disregard for the voice of something that I co-created. I just got off the phone with Kim. I told her to stop antagonizing me with this TikTok thing. I said it's never again. I am her father. I am not allowing my daughter to be used by TikTok. I have a say-so. And I'm happy that you guys got to see just a small piece of what I dealt with.
And the internet's reaction has been nothing short of explosive. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds almost overnight, with thousands of people saying the same thing: North doesn't look 12 anymore. Critics argue that the piercings, grills, and dark, hyper-mature aesthetics are aging her up in a way that feels deeply uncomfortable, and they're warning that this kind of image shouldn't be normalized for children, no matter how famous the family is. To them, this isn't about fashion trends, it's about blurred lines, lost innocence, and a culture that keeps pushing kids to grow up faster because shock value gets clicks. And once that conversation started, it refused to slow down, because people aren't just reacting to North, they're reacting to what her image represents in a world obsessed with spectacle.
My parents were a little bit more strict. I am fine with her expressing herself and having fun with it.
But not everyone agrees. Others are pushing back hard, arguing that North is still just a child experimenting, no different than kids in past generations who played dress-up, dyed their hair, or copied the styles they saw around them. They say the outrage says more about society than it does about her, accusing critics of projecting adult fears and moral panic onto a 12-year-old simply because her last name magnifies everything. To them, North isn't being grown up, she's being watched too closely, analyzed too deeply, and judged too harshly in a world that refuses to let famous kids explore identity without turning it into a headline. And that divide is exactly what keeps this debate so heated, because depending on who you ask, North West is either a warning sign or just a kid being turned into a symbol she never asked to be.
We've learned through trial and error that you can still be honest and express yourself with being kind. And even if something, doesn't look good.
And this is where the conversation gets bigger than North West. Because this isn't just about one child or one famous family. It's about what happens when a kid grows up surrounded by billion-dollar brands, adult fashion houses, and non-stop public attention before they're old enough to understand the consequences. When childhood unfolds under flashing cameras and curated aesthetics, experimentation stops being private and starts becoming performance. Every outfit becomes a statement, every choice becomes a debate, and every phase gets archived forever. And in a culture that rewards shock, virality, and controversy, the line between self-expression and expectation starts to blur. For years, the family has sold a flawless fantasy, hands-on parenting, non-stop filming, billion-dollar businesses, and perfectly curated glam, all somehow balanced in the same 24 hours the rest of us struggle to survive. But here's the part the cameras don't linger on. This lifestyle isn't fueled by grind culture or late-night hustle. It runs on precision, rotating staff, military-level schedules, and a behind-the-scenes system so massive, so expensive, most people couldn't even picture it, let alone afford it. And that's where the backlash begins. Because when critics side-eye the Kardashians' definition of hard work, they're not being petty, they're questioning the scale of help, quietly filling in the gaps, especially when it comes to childcare. So let's talk numbers, not rumors, not vibes, real reports. According to multiple sources, Kim Kardashian doesn't rely on a nanny, she relies on an entire rotation. We're talking around 10 nannies, cycling in shifts, caring for her 4 children around the clock. Day teams, night teams, travel coverage, backup coverage, every moment accounted for.
A nanny for every child. So is she doing the parenting like full time, or is she co-parenting with Ye and the nannies?
Dad is the best. He has it all figured out. He doesn't have a nanny. He doesn't have a chef. He doesn't have security.
And here's where it gets even more intense. Daytime nannies reportedly pull 12-hour shifts, often clocking in as early as 6 a.m., making sure every breakfast, outfit, and schedule is seamless. Meanwhile, the night nannies swoop in to handle overnight care, monitoring the kids, soothing them through the night, and even prepping everything for the next morning's whirlwind. It's a non-stop relay, a well-oiled, round-the-clock operation that keeps the Kardashian kids cared for while the family keeps the cameras rolling.
A woman raising the 4 Kardashian kids.
She wasn't the easiest to work for because she was very particular.
Fun activities for the grandkids.
Can you ever have a day with some grandkids without a nanny?
Yes.
I'm a single mom of 4, and it is wild.
Each child has their own nanny.
I have uniforms, grays, heather gray, black. I have a handbook, yeah.
Apparently she made her nannies call her madam at all times.
She said that she felt so degraded by you.
I don't have a nanny anymore.
What? Courtney, you can't even keep a nanny.
Crib, shut the f up. And I used to slap my nannies. Like, bam.
And the logistics don't stop there. When the kids travel, the nannies travel too. Visiting their father, multiple nannies reportedly tag along just to keep routines intact. Meals, naps, homework, everything on schedule. The scale of this operation isn't just staggering, it's expensive. Reports estimate that Kardashian nannies earn between $100,000 and $150,000 a year depending on experience, seniority, and specialization. But in Los Angeles, with 12-hour shifts, constant travel, and being on call, many critics argue the paycheck doesn't fully capture the relentless workload. This is where the conversation pivots from luxury to labor. And then comes a revelation Kim herself has confirmed. On the Kardashians, Kim shared that she hired a male nanny, or manny, specifically for her sons. Why? She explained that her household felt overwhelmingly female and she wanted a male presence to help with things like sports, structure, and guidance, especially for saying the drama. Kim admitted she was nervous to even tell Kanye about bringing a man into their kids' daily lives, proving that even in a billionaire household, staffing decisions can spark tension.
My sisters and I are on a group chat, always getting parenting advice.
But they don't get advice from me. Can I get on that chat, please?
Scared out of my mind to tell their dad that. When he was dropping off the kids, Kanye introduced himself, played 2-on-2 with Saint and him, has been so nice to him, saying, hey, if you're gonna help raise my son, these are like some of the rules that I would want. And I was like, oh my God, okay.
And make no mistake, this isn't just help. This is precision staffing, meticulously designed to balance gender, manage complex schedules, coordinate nonstop travel, and even align with brand obligations. Once you start counting how many people are orchestrating life behind the cameras, the inevitable question arises, what's it actually like to work there? Over the years, a flurry of reports, leaks, and former employee accounts have begun to paint a picture allegedly of extremely strict rules inside Kardashian households. From rigid schedules to exacting expectations, the claims suggest that working for the family is less like a typical nanny gig and more like entering a finely tuned, high-pressure operation where every detail is scrutinized.
North tried to bite my nanny.
Kids were like my kids. And I mean that in a respectful way, but I was just spent so much time with them that they were like family. She wasn't the easiest to work for because she was very particular about everything and knew how she wanted things, and she would have quite a list of things for me to do every single day.
If you could give advice to the kids that are now grown up, that you once spent, every day with, what would you say to them?
Make sure you know the Lord.
Yeah.
One of the most persistent claims floating around, the ironclad no-phone policy for staff. According to multiple outlets, nannies aren't allowed to use personal cell phones while on shift, and getting caught could reportedly be grounds for immediate termination. Supporters insist it's all about confidentiality and focus, but critics can't help but point out the stunning irony, given that the entire Kardashian brand is built on public-facing content and a phone-driven empire. And then there's the NDA factor. Kim Kardashian has openly confirmed that all staff must sign non-disclosure agreements, but multiple sources claim these aren't your standard contracts. Allegedly, these NDAs come with extensive clauses and eye-popping penalties, rumored to reach into the millions if breached, though of course, the exact numbers have never been officially confirmed. It's the kind of high-stakes secrecy that makes working for a billionaire household feel more like joining a private, ultra-exclusive operation than a regular job.
The people who work here are all color coordinated.
Yeah.
Is that intentional?
Absolutely. I have uniforms.
Is there really a uniform?
Well, it's not like, hey, this is like your uniform.
Mm-hmm.
It's just color palettes.
Is this like a handbook though? Is this
I have a handbook, yeah.
In a household where NDAs are ironclad and the stakes are sky high, discretion isn't just a rule, it's survival. The result? We only get glimpses of life behind the cameras, leaving the public to piece together the high-pressure, high-profile reality from whispers, leaks, and rumors.
Did you guys get into it on the show, though? Like, me being late or something?
No, well, yes. I was late a few times, and Chloe wasn't having it. I think Chloe took offense to me being late.
And one of the biggest flashpoints for criticism, reports across multiple outlets claim that Kardashian nannies are essentially on call 24/7. Whether it's travel, filming, or unexpected emergencies, the staff are expected to be ready at a moment's notice, a relentless demand that blurs the line between a job and a full-time, round-the-clock obligation. It's this kind of pressure that fuels debate. Is it luxury help or non-stop labor hidden behind the glittering facade?
Courtney, you can't even keep a nanny. Shut the fuck up, honestly.
Everyone is in this house with a negative, heavy, disgusting energy. It's just going to infect all of us.
Kim's nanny and I had a little disagreement. She felt so degraded by you, and you just started yelling at her.
Oh my God.
You said, keep your voice down.
She's lying.
And for viewers, that disconnect is impossible to ignore, especially when the so-called help goes far beyond childcare. Kardashian homes operate less like family residences and more like luxury corporate compounds. Take Kim's main Hidden Hills estate, valued at nearly $100 million. Maintaining a property of that magnitude isn't a weekend project, it requires a full ecosystem of staff. Full-time housekeepers, estate managers, and rotating maintenance teams work tirelessly to ensure every detail is flawless every single day. Then there's the security detail. Kim reportedly shells out millions annually just to keep her family safe, employing former military and intelligence professionals, 24/7 armed guards, and even on-site security pods integrated directly into her estate. Every visitor is screened, every delivery is vetted, and even schools and travel routes are closely monitored. It's a level of precision and protection few can imagine, and it's a big part of why the Kardashian lifestyle, while glamorous, comes with a complex, highly orchestrated machine behind the scenes.
Because you've always told me, who cares how much you pay if it's for your safety
100%.
and your security?
She has like a Navy SEAL team over there.
The f***ing security, again with this f***ing iPad.
You have the list of who's coming to the house. They should check it before the guests come to see if they've already signed an NDA.
And it doesn't stop there. Most Kardashian family members also employ private chefs, personal assistants, and entire teams dedicated to coordinating schedules, travel, wardrobe, and filming logistics. Their world doesn't run on superhuman effort, it runs on outsourcing nearly every single aspect of daily life. And that might be why the internet can't stop throwing shade, and why backlash seems to follow them everywhere. When billionaires with entire domestic armies talk about hustle, it lands very differently. Critics argue that outsourcing cooking, cleaning, scheduling, transportation, and childcare strips away the mental load that most parents carry every single day, the invisible labor that no paycheck can cover and no reality show can fully capture.
That Kim is a serial entrepreneur, so I'm sure she's super busy. But at the end of the day, didn't Kim not want to be with Kanye?
Correct. She did.
Okay, well, baby, just how the cookie done crumpled up.
I am her father. I know y'all don't respect fathers and the idea of family, and media tries to promote something. I have a say-so. I didn't have a say-so on whether or not they went to Sierra Canyon. Most men do not, there's no such thing as 50-50 custody with in society today. That's not even, it always leans towards the mom.
And that mental load, the constant juggling of meals, schedules, errands, and emergencies is what truly exhausts people. We hear it all the time, we all have the same 24 hours. But viewers argue that mantra crumbles under the reality of a life supported by an army of staff. For many, this isn't just celebrity gossip, it's a question of relatability. It's not that the Kardashians don't work, it's that their version of hard work exists without the friction most of us face every day. That friction, the late nights, the early mornings, the endless multitasking is quietly absorbed by an invisible workforce. The nannies, chefs, assistants, security teams, and countless others who make the empire look effortless while keeping the cameras rolling and the brand untouchable.